What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Hey.
Appreciate all you joining us tonight. I hope that we have a clear viewpoint. That's kind of what we're a little worried about. Always the internet is a concern for us right now.
You live out in the middle of nowhere. You don't have a whole lot of options.
So we are back and we are unleashing stuff again. So for those of you guys that are joining us, this is our second week unleashing things. Come on in, Mr. Be Happy. It's good to see you on here. We got folks joining us, should be coming on YouTube, coming on our Facebook. We're on TikTok, LinkedIn, a few different places tonight. So it's always exciting to see where you guys are coming from. So what we need you to do is to share this live if you can. Share it to your feed. Helps get the word out that we're on here and what we're going to be doing. Mr. Brandon Flores, famous Brandon Flores, is on as well. And we got quite a few folks here on Instagram. So I am watching you guys as close as I can where you're coming from. We got D is from Indiana. We got quite a few folks. Let us know that you're on. Where's my Facebook folks at? If you could go ahead and start getting some comments on.
Oklahoma.
Yep, Oklahoma. And so the only place we're not on tonight is TikTok. We haven't quite figured that one out yet. But as far as trying to get on there, and we didn't think it would work well with the presentation that we're trying to do. So tonight it's going to be just you guys. So it's going to be great. We got New York is in the house, and how this is going to work, because we've got kind of a set of things that we're going to be talking about tonight. Mainly, we're going on the inside of the Barndominiums, and we're going to share with you guys some of the. What are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about some of the finishes, the special finishes, potential upgrades, things to think about whenever you are starting your build to try to maybe account for in your budget and things like that. So we've got a long list of ideas. So I don't know if you're going to make notes or maybe just watch back again later. But
yeah, don't take notes like that's.
Well, some people are note takers. Some people take mental notes.
Yeah,
I have to write stuff down because I will forget for sure.
Yes. So we're going to go through some things. We're going to show you guys some beautiful pictures of some of the finished insides on our homes that we've built, and use some of those as illustrations to show you sort of what we're talking about, because I feel like that keeps it a little more interesting. And so you guys comment below, let us know that you can see us clearly. I've got a little indicator that's showing that I have a weak internet feed, but
Great.
I am concerned because we don't want for it to be all bad. So we had one like that a couple of weeks ago, and it just bothers me.
Yeah, we're working on it. We've got fiber optic potentially coming in tomorrow. They're coming to look at everything, so hopefully we can get a little bit more of a secure connection. So
thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us. We're going to try to get into this presentation for tonight. We're so excited to be coming to you guys as often as we can. This is a new thing for us, so we're not really live. We're not usually live.
No, we're usually edited.
It's a vulnerable thing because you usually you can take the edit tool and you can drag it and
you can delete some of the ums,
cut it, and all of the things that you need to do to try to present a little bit better. But so again, we're grateful that you guys are here with us across these platforms. and looking forward to giving you some good content as far as value tonight, but also spend a little bit of time towards the end. We're going to try to answer a little more questions. So you can put some questions in. Uh, Mr. Be Happy has his notepad out, getting ready to unleash some Texas best. Yeah, it's funny, you know, these titles we're unleashing uh, things every week, so it's big stuff happening over here.
And
Uh,
I'm gonna need some help with more things that people want us to talk about too. Because I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about, but you know,
So for some of you guys that's been watching and following along on the channel this past week, we've been sharing a lot about efficiencies and talking about our build style, which we feel like is one of the unique things about our builds. Now, but tonight we're going to focus a little more on some practical things. Like last week we shared, and you guys can go back and watch that, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram kind of messed up on us a little bit last week, but the video is still there.
yeah.
But last week we talked more about our exterior options when it comes to things that we feel like is important to, you know, go from a barn to beauty is what we talked about. Basically, what are some things that we do, you know, that will take a little bit of that warehouse aesthetic away and make it a little more, you know, give it some curb appeal. And that's what we focused on last week. Well, this week, we're going to go inside the house. Now, a lot of this stuff applies obviously to your traditional construction and different other types of construction, but you know, we want to give it you know, our own spin with the Barndominium, because this is where your interest is, and this is where you're wanting to shine on your Barndominium home and whatever it is that you're building. If you're looking for ideas, and that's what this is all about. We try to promote ideas so that, you know, as you guys, whether you're builders or whether you are getting a barndominium built, or maybe you're a future customer of ours. So this is always helpful because we're gonna be going through some slideshow, you know, showing you some of these other builds and putting it all in perspective. So
Yeah, and we're gonna reference the different, like if we're showing you a picture of a of a certain item in a home, we'll let you know which home that is, so you can go back if you wanted to and see the tour video. Maybe you haven't seen some of our tour videos, or maybe you missed one, or you're like, oh, I really like that one. I want to go back and see that one. You can walk through the whole house with us again, if you had a particular one you wanted to see. So
all right, so let's try to talk a little bit about it. Obviously, some of it's going to be practical things that you can use information, and we'll try to go as in depth as we can on some of the other things.
all
So,
right. So one of the main things that we see our customers upgrade potentially, one thing that we include in our pricing is granite countertops. There's all kinds of ones that you can pick. There's all kinds of levels. There's usually up to like a level 4, level 5, depending on which stone you're in. But granite is what we include. We always include a level 1 granite, and it's usually got a little bit more of a pattern to it. It's very durable. It's actually stain resistant, heat resistant, um, and it's going to last a long time. It's really pretty, and the higher up in the levels that you select, it's going to get a little more less of a pattern, I guess.
yeah, so we'll show you a couple here. This is the difference. You've got a granite countertop here. Hopefully, guys, you can see some of these details. This is the standard level 1 granite, which is a more predictable pattern, like Brandy's saying. But when you go to the quartz, it is a little more decorative on sometimes. Sometimes you can get a solid color,
Mhm.
which a lot of people are wanting. Some people are wanting more of a veining
Right.
type.
So this is a quartz. The quartz is going to be a little more solid in color. There may be, like he said, some veining. That'll just be more of an accent. It's not going to be a heavy pattern. But yeah, so the difference with the quartz, it's gonna be very durable again, but it is you cannot set hot things on it. So you can burn it if you set a hot pan or whatever on there. So that's the one thing you kind of have to be careful with. But it is stain resistant. It's going to be very durable for you, and it's going to look pretty for a really long time. That's what we chose for our house, is something like what you're seeing there.
Yeah, we have a quartz. Now this particular example that we're showing the quartz is our Athens Barndominium. And there's some other things here that we might come back to on this build, obviously. But this is a quartz. It's an upgraded product that happens a lot. Everybody wants to go with that type of, with that type of. Here's another example of quartz, I believe. This is our Lucas Barndominium, a very favored Barno that a lot of people like.
Sure. And the one thing about it, it is going to be an upgrade for us. Potentially, it would be about $15 a square foot more. It'll be on top of that level 1 granite that's already going to be included. Now, depending on what kind you pick, what level you pick, I mean, it's just going to go up from there potentially. So, one thing that I think is really cool is we send our customers to they can either select from some small samples that our countertop guy brings us, or they can actually go and pick out a slab. You can go to a yard and actually pick out which slabs you want. So that's a kind of a neat thing, because you can pick out, if it has a really distinct vein in it that you're like, oh, I just really want that in my island. You can select that. They'll hold it for you. And then when the time comes, we can get them installed or whatever. So it's kind of a neat.
While we're on that, Anthony asked, is slab sizing a quartz versus granite similar? I don't know. I haven't heard that question, but I would believe so.
Yeah, I would imagine it is. I don't actually order this part, so I'm not totally sure, but I'm sure they have. I think they even have some different sizes. So
maybe Brandon can chime in here if he's watching.
Brandon can answer you, maybe.
It's not a question that I'm aware of on the slab sizing particularly. Somebody else might know that here, but that's not something that I'm aware. So another type of option for countertops is butcher block.
Yes, this was a special custom piece that we actually had designed for this home, for this island. This is the Maypearl Barndominium, and it's actually got a sink in it. Now, the only thing you have to worry about with the butcher block is going to be it is not going to like the moisture. So you're not going to want to leave something wet laying on it. You're going to have to reseal it. I've read that you got to do it like every month, like reseal it. And you're not really supposed to use it as a cutting board. I was actually surprised, but I mean, yeah, you're not going to want to dent it. You're not going to want to cut it. But it's really pretty.
One thing I'll say, since you brought that up, is on the quartz countertops, one thing that I always do is I take my cutting board when I have hot things and I put it over top of that. And that's just something number one, it helps me to not make a mess on the counter, but I don't have to worry about, hot things like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's going to be, you're going to have to treat that just like you would a cutting board. So you're going to have to, put the oils and different things on it to protect it. And but it's very pretty, and I love it here because it actually kind of breaks it up, because it's different than what's on the back side of that wall with the sink.
And if you want to see more of this, you can check out the Maypearl Barndominium. It was a pretty cool, little more industrial look.
It's got a lot of extras on that one for sure.
Yeah, so that one was a pretty cool one. So let's see. I believe we're going to move on from here. We're going to go to cabinetry.
All right. So with our builds, everything that we do in regards to the cabinets.
Hold on, we had another countertop. That's another example of a level 2 granite. Okay. So that's kind of what this is. And it's this is the Joshua Barndominium.
This is the red barn.
And looks like Brandon says, yeah, most of what we install is the same size as far as granite and quartz. So I'm sure they have to customary like make that similar, so because they're using them for the same
Yeah.
in the same regard.
But yeah, you may have to pick out multiple slabs, depending on how much counter space you
Yeah,
have.
and sizing your countertops is always a part of cost upgrades too, because you don't know, like if you're, especially if you're trying to choose different products in different areas,
Mhm.
you may not have enough, countertop. Uh, if you're just trying to do all the kitchen with one type of countertop, and then you're trying to switch it up
To the
to the
bathrooms. Yeah.
bathrooms, or you're spending more money one to the other. So sometimes that's a healthy like juggling act that you're trying to do as far as sizing. So keep that in mind. So moving on to the cabinetry.
All right. So this is
This is our
um,
Files Valley Barndominium, and
yes.
I think we're just showing you a bigger picture here, showing you a lot of cabinets is
Yeah,
what you're
this
looking.
has got a lot of built-ins, a lot of cabinetry here. They have a lot going on. But one thing want to know ahead of time is, are you going to do stain grade or if you're going to do paint grade? So that the Joshua Barndominium had quite a bit of stain on it, but these cabinets are painted, and I really like how they broke it up. So they have all the white cabinets everywhere except for that island is more of a statement piece. I like that they did a different color there. It kind of breaks it all up.
And here's some additional added cabinets in their pantry.
Yes, this is an amazing pantry. There's actually, you can't really see it that great on the picture, but there's a lot of drawers. And if you'll go back to that Files Valley, you can go see that pantry in action. You can kind of see the different things going on in there because there's a lot going on.
It's not
in that.
quite as tight as it looks here in this picture. I mean, it's kind of, I think he had to do some distorted wide angle here. It's not super roomy in there though, because there's a lot of cabinets, but it's just right for our client.
But
So,
yeah, but that's built in. That's a custom pantry. That's not a standard included.
yeah, a lot of our pantries, you guys know, we're using the 12-inch board to create shelving in those spaces. So this is a little bit of an upgrade. Here they're using kind of a butcher block effect. I believe this is just a stain graded top that is out of a hardwood. So that's what they're doing there, which is cool. A lot of people kind of like this. What do you call it? A butler's pantry.
Yeah, how about
where they'll have plugs and stuff there where they can keep a lot of their appliances. So there was a lot of upgrades on this particular.
If and when I get a new house, I'm gonna have one, a butler's pantry.
Butler's pantry.
Yeah.
So, and here's another example of some added cabinets.
This is Athens.
And what we're showing y'all is that this is not like standard stuff. Like
this is extras.
Whenever we put standard pricing together, it doesn't have cabinets in
the hallways and little desktop areas. Yeah. This is the Athens Barno, and they've got like a linen cabinet out there in the hallway. It's right there next to the bathroom, as well as this little kind of a little desk office area. That's off the hallway there. So,
yep. So you got some extra cabinets there, and then I don't know how many more cabinets we got. We got quite a bit going on here.
Okay, so this is one of our top-notch closets. This is the Hilltop Barndo, and this is their master closet. Amazing. It's all built in. I love those drawers. Lots of hanging space, and I love that they've got their washer and dryer in their master bedroom closet, whatever that is.
Yeah, so these are built-ins. It's added cost to do this in your closet. It costs quite a bit more money, obviously, to add cabinets anywhere. But all of the cabinets that we do are custom cabinets through a builder, cabinet builder that, all this is built in the shop and they bring out and install.
Yeah, these are not pre-manufactured cabinets that we ordered from somewhere. Our cabinet guy's going to come out and walk with you. He's going to go from the plans, but you can make some modifications with these. Like you could do drawers instead of, doors. You can do trash can drawers. You can do spice cabinet drawers, whatever, all the things. So We've got people that have the towels for the
Paper
paper
towel.
towel. Yeah, they have that in the Falls Valley one, I think. So
That'd be-
all kinds of.
They had it in Fowles Valley. I think we actually had it at, well, they haven't seen the video for this one, but I think we actually missed it. But it's on our Callisburg.
Oh yes, I actually found it by accident later. I didn't realize it was there.
But another thing is you got hardware involved
Mhm.
whenever you build cabinets for your closet. So this is another added thing that adds to the cost.
Right.
Here's another example of built-in cabinets.
This is another top-notch closet. This is the Sadler Barndo, the master closet there.
And they've got a beard station in this closet, which is really nice.
Yeah.
A great place to
got a lit vanity back there on that back wall. Put a little stool under there for doing your makeup, your hair, whatever. But it's very nice. Josh would take it over though.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not that.
But that's got like it's kind of cool because it's got the little island in the middle too, and it's got drawers on both sides, like his and hers kind of.
This particular deal did have some kind of custom lighting there around the mirror, and there was some dimmable lights, I believe.
And then there was a bench, I think, underneath that window, wasn't there?
I don't know about that window. I don't recall.
Seemed like there was. Well, you're not going to hang anything on front of the window, so I'm pretty sure there's a bench there, maybe to sit and put your shoes on.
I always like having natural light though in the closet.
Yeah.
I think that's really, it's nice. We have that in ours, and we did set a small bench there for ours. That's right, beard station. Chris, wish we could come to Mississippi. We used to work there doing different types of work years ago. So here's another example of some built-in cabinets, but these are
cabinetry.
your mud bench. I think my brother-in-law calls them drop zones. Have you guys ever heard that term? Y'all settle this for me. Have you ever heard the term drop zone for a mud bench?
I have not. So
you need to chime in right now. Let us know because I need to settle this in the family right now. Okay. Have you ever heard that term? A drop zone. I think he's just being creative, but
I mean, it's catchy.
Who doesn't love an area like this where you can come in, take your boots off, and sit down for a little bit, or change out your shoes as you're coming in, so you're not making a big mess.
Mr. Rogers, put on your sweater when you get home. Change your shoes.
Yeah, the music's playing. So I think we have the Barndominium company just joined, our good friend Stacy Lynn.
Hey, Stacy.
What's up, Stacy? Thanks for joining. We are having a great time talking about interior finishes.
I'm sure she could contribute some ideas on the
She could. We're going to get her on. We're going to get her on with us at some point here. Right. I'm going to twist her arm to get her on here. So
do we have a picture of floating shelves? Maybe go back to the Maypearl.
Oh, you want me to go backwards?
Maybe.
How about you don't throw me for a surprise?
Sorry. Yeah. Nope, you went too far.
Right here?
Yeah. Pull that one back up.
So bossy.
Sorry. Well, I wanted to point out, since we're talking about cabinetry. So in this one, I wish we could zoom in. Can you make it a little bigger?
No. Okay, yeah. Here we go.
Okay, so on that back wall, those are actually floating shelves. They've actually got some hardware on them that they're instead of having an upper cabinetry, they've got the shelves there. We've done that in quite a few of our builds. We've got some coming up too, but
yeah, so it's kind of like the industrial piping is what that is. I really wish we had a closer shot here, but if we really had the time, we could get some B-roll footage from Drew and all that kind of stuff. We just, we try to put this stuff together for you guys. But the industrial shelving, that's what's different here, kind of going with an open wall and not having as much cabinets. Now, that may or may not be a popular idea to some because some people want to have the cabinets there
Mhm.
where it's accessible. But people that are building like a butler's pantry, where they're tucking stuff away in different areas, they're a little less, they're a little less likely to maybe want that.
Yeah, and I personally probably wouldn't like line my sippy cups for my kids or something like that on there, but if you had like, pretty dishes or things like that that you wouldn't mind people seeing, you don't wanna see inside my cabinet. It's
We
not
don't.
pretty.
Hopefully, we don't have any more sippy
We
cups.
are done with sippy cups officially for sure, but I'm just saying, like, all the, cups that people have nowadays, it can kinda look cluttered, so I wouldn't necessarily wanna put anything like that on those shelves, but, um
My good friend Kurt Tunnel just joined the conversation. Hey, Kurt, hope you're doing well. A tunnel construction. Those guys are down in the Brownwood area. We'll shout out for him if you guys are looking to build a barndominium down that way.
alright. Can you take me back to the Athens?
Okay, this back and forth
I'm
stuff.
sorry, they have some of these pictures are good for multiple things. They have a lot going on in each one, so,
Okay.
uh,
So, where are we talking about? Go ahead and start.
so I wanna talk about on your upper cabinets, doing, maybe a glass door on them.
Okay.
There it is. So this is really pretty example. So on this one, they did the glass on the the top ones, and they actually did a little bit of a design on this one, and then have the lights inside the cabinets. They've also got the under cabinet lighting as well, but this one is for all the pretty decorative stuff. So in my upper cabinets, I've got I don't know like little flower arrangements and little cute signs and um,
Do,
little fun, pottery things, but it's more of a showcase, since you're not really gonna be able to get to them very easily. It's just a really pretty way to kinda dress up your kitchen, um, and even into your living room because that's kind of one open area, so but yeah, that's one thing that's kind of an upgrade. That's not something that, was just a standard, and you kinda have to plan ahead with your lighting and things like that.
all right. So, moving from there, we're going to. Now you got me
I'm
lost.
sorry.
I'm gonna have to go through all this.
Got all pretty
And
pictures,
this
though.
is our cabinets. So,
And you can pick out your doors. If you have a certain style, you can change up your doors
yeah, a
and
lot
the
of people want to
hardware.
match up the shaker style with their walk-through doors. But here's some more mud bench
Another drop zone.
drop zones. Thank you, Anthony, for confirming that it's a mud bench.
Yes.
So appreciate that, Anthony. Any of you guys else heard of it as a drop zone?
It's a great place for all the backpacks to land and shoes and jackets, all the things you need coming and going.
Here's another beautiful one. This is a mud bench we did for the Lucas Barndominium. It's got some pretty cool setups there, and of course they have this is right there close to a bathroom, I believe,
And
or another
laundry room.
laundry room,
Mhm.
which they had tiled in there, which was a custom tile they used there. Is that what you call it? Come on, Stacy, you're really gonna out me on this deal.
They call it a drop zone.
She calls it a drop zone.
Well, there you go.
Kobe is going to never let me live that one down. A drop zone.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Well, Kobe's up with the times.
Okay.
So what are we talking about now?
Well,
Uh,
that's not the picture I was looking for.
this picture?
I guess are we doing tile next?
Well,
That's
look at your
I'm
list.
sorry. Oh, got it. Okay, fireplaces. That's what we're doing next is fireplaces. Sorry, I have 2 different lists going here, so fireplaces, not included. Fireplaces are definitely gonna be extra. You definitely wanna get that incorporated in, obviously, with your framing and all that fun stuff, so, but this is the Sadler Barndominium. This is one of our first see-through fireplaces. This one's in the living room as well in the as in the master.
Um, Yeah, so this is a see-through fireplace. You're probably going to see a couple different sides of this one. Now we also have a two-sided fireplace in our cool Barndominium. I think we got another one in our coming up on our Callisburg Barndominium. We've got
Oh, yeah.
see through.
Is that one a wood burning, or is that a gas one? I don't remember.
I don't recall
There's
on that.
logs in there, so it makes me think that it's a gas.
No, I think it was a gas.
Okay.
So this is our Lucas Barndominium, which we've already showed you guys. And there's a couple of things. You may see this picture a couple different times because there's so much about this build that is custom.
Extra.
So yeah, so it's all extra. Some of these, like the beams that you see going across the ceilings, those are extra.
Mhm.
Those are wood accents there. We've got this kind of falls into our trim carpentry, which maybe I don't know where we're at on this, but we're talking about fireplaces.
Yeah, we're not to that far
So
yet. So this one, it actually has built-in, I think, bookcases on both sides of that fireplace too. But fireplaces are going to cost you, I mean, roughly $7,800, $8,000, give or take, depending on what you're doing, how big you're doing. Like you could have a grand fireplace like that's in the 10,000 square foot barndominium that goes way, all the way up to the crazy high ceiling. Um, it's endless as to what you want to put on it, if you want to do the hearth or not, and obviously the mantle, if you want it to be wood burning or a gas stove or a fireplace. And then we've even done standalone fireplaces as well, like in the Maypearl Barndominium.
right, and the Maypearl, which has a the Maypearl has a wood stove, so it's a freestanding.
That was a custom piece that our clients brought in and wanted us to install for them. So they actually had to do some stone there for that fireplace. So, okay. Next, we're going to go into specialty tile. So this one's going to be fun. Some of you are going to really like this.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to talk about specialty tile. So there's all kinds of things that you may want to do an accent with. I know I did a fun pattern in my daughter's bathroom because it was a small area. I didn't want to do too much in a big area. So this one worked out for us to do a little one in our guest bathroom. But we are going to show you some specialty tile. This kind of works with the fireplace. This has got cabinets, got the floating shelves, and then that is tile laid for that fireplace.
Yeah, that is tile. It looks really good. They kind of put it on a herringbone pattern or whatever you want to call it. Looks like an arrow. But
chevron.
Chevron. There you go. I really love this look for this build. This was our Buena Vista Barndominium. And you're also seeing some of those floating shelves here. This is kind of built shelves that we've got going on here.
Yeah, go take a look at those. Go back and watch some of those videos because they've got a lot of information in them and a lot of ideas. So next we want to look. What's the next picture? So this whole room is tile, floor to ceiling. This one is in our hilltop barndo on the upstairs floor. It was kind of a not an afterthought, but they kind of tried to get the biggest shower you could in that small space.
Yeah, this was the story about it was we only had 14-foot eave heights, and now this is not the eave wall here, but it's a little bit stepped in, so they were struggling for headroom, and we had to squeeze a little bathroom in, but the shower head's actually on this other side of the wall, but it was pretty cramped in there to get all that done with the kind of eave height that we had on this build, but as you can see, they tiled the whole thing. So it was pretty cool because the moisture and everything that was going to be going on in that room wanted to be completely waterproof. Also, we took the glass all the way up to the ceiling in that area for that reason because they didn't want it splashing out all over the floors. So that's what we did in this particular scenario.
All right. So this isn't necessarily custom tile, but that is kind of a custom backsplash that the customer chose to do. It's like a corrugated metal. It's actually kind of got like a rust to it. So it's definitely really rustic, but really a neat, custom idea to try out.
Yeah, they wanted to add this. We actually did this over the ceiling in the shower as well, in the master shower, which it turned out really cool. This was our Hill County Barndominium for those of you guys that have followed the channel. And this is a real popular one on YouTube, a big time popular build. And I had a lot of the warmer, colors and tones and stuff that a lot of people have gotten away from.
Yeah.
But it's fun sometimes to come back and do some of these
Revisit some of the things.
the colors and the rustic appeal that can go into a barndominium, and so that kind of gives it the barndominium pizzazz. How about that?
Pizzazz.
How you like that? The pizzazz. That's what we need, pizzazz.
All right. This is
I don't know why that. Well, this is not tile. So
no, I don't know why that one's there. That was supposed to be vinyl plank. I'm looking for a particular one. We still have some
pause
special.
for a word from our sponsors.
Okay,
Here's one.
Here's one.
This is one that has tile.
This is a fan favorite. This is this is the Sadler Barndominium, and that flooring is all tile. It's a very shiny, but is just beautiful flooring.
Yeah, we've had a lot of questions. People ask what this is as far as the flooring that we used at the Sadler Barndominium, but this Barndo has tile throughout. Well, except for in the bedrooms, we don't have it. We're using a kind of a matching vinyl plank in the bedrooms, but in the main living area, it was all of this, and really made the feel of this build. A lot of people thought it was kind of some kind of epoxy or something of that nature, but hey, Denise, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Denise.
So, another thing that I could say about this is kind of a manufactured stone, but it lays more like a tile on the fireplace, and that's what we're doing here. And this has kind of a built-in. This has kind of a built-in storage area for wood underneath that you can see under the fireplace right there.
That's the same one that goes into the master, which is on the other side of the wall.
Yes,
see-through fireplace.
That's the see-through fireplace we showed you guys,
which is really kind of cool. I like it, especially if you're empty nesters and there's not anybody else staying there. It's kind of neat. Some people are like, you can see through into the master, but obviously, if there's not anybody else there, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
But it's a really pretty feature.
So we're going to show you another. Are we into flooring? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, I didn't get to do my my dog showers.
What did you want to talk about? Showers?
Yeah, the dog showers. There it is.
So here's a dog shower.
All right. So this one is super cute. Is this this is actually
this is my sister's.
This is Josh's sister's dog shower. But it's super cool. They did the little paw print tile.
It's similar to our cool Barndominium.
I thought we did one in cool.
They kind of matched the cool Barndominium, but this one here has the paw prints, which is kind of neat. This is something you can do.
And it's got a handheld shower head there, so you can take that off and spray the dog down or whatever.
Sheila's on here. She said the dog shower is cute. Sheila, you need one of these. See, we build your Barndominium, you're going to get a dog shower.
We also did a dog shower in the Maypearl Barndominium too. It's a little lower, I think, like as far as the doors getting in. So depending on the size of your dog, like this one is built up. You may want them up a little higher so you can reach them and you're not having to bend over. But if you've got a real large dog, you may not want them up that high, or if an old dog that can't maybe get up in there. So
like our boy.
Oh, poor Duke.
Duke, he's got arthritis. It's bad.
Getting old. like the rest of us.
Yeah. So, the dog shower has been a popular thing. We had a lot more we could have showed them for dog showers. I don't
Yeah.
know. You didn't pull enough pictures.
Well, I thought we had the one for the Maypearl one up, but
I
I
just
guess that
wanted to
didn't get
bring
on the
out
slideshow.
that you missed that. Okay.
Well, they don't have to miss it. They can go look at the video for the cool Barndominium or the Maypearl, and you can see uh,
A dog shower.
you don't get in the shower, do you? I don't
No.
remember. He used to get in the bathtubs.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. A lot of people don't know what you're talking about. So,
All right.
so we're going to move on to flooring,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So let's show them some flooring.
Look at some options on the flooring. So this is a vinyl plank flooring. Obviously, it looks like wood. It's going to be pretty durable. It's going to be water resistant. You're not going to want to let water just like lay on it, but
This is our
Blum.
Barndominium. So
There's the vinyl plank.
here's
There's
the tile. I got that in there twice for you. Here's a bamboo flooring.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is our Buffalo Barndominium.
Beautiful floors.
Then we have the Joshua Barndominium. This is tile.
This has got a shine.
A lot of
to it.
people really raved over this flooring because of the shine. A lot of people like the shine.
Yeah.
It's a thing right now.
Well, to me, it kind of looks clean. Sometimes whenever you have like a real matte finish, it's like you get it wet and it looks all nice and shiny, and then it dries dull, and then it kind of is like, oh, but now it looks kind of dusty. So I kind of like the shine a little. So.
Yeah, I was when we put the flooring in there, it's always a big ordeal to tile everything, but so when I came in to see it, I was a little shocked how much I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
But and two, I didn't know it was going to be shiny.
Yeah.
So it was like, whoa, same thing with our Sadler build when we did that one. Let's see. We got that's
a stained concrete.
Yeah, this is our stained concrete. This is kind of a standard for us, but we wanted to show you what the standard is. Has the shine too.
This is the Wills Point.
It's our Wills Point Barndominium.
It's beautiful, and it's got a shine to it. But the one thing about I just wanted to kind of make a note here for you guys that are kind of maybe you like a couple of different floorings and you're not really sure which one you want to do. For the most part, you're not going to go, glue down flooring and then rip it up and have stained concrete later. You're pretty much going to need, I would say, if you at all want to do a stained concrete, try it out first. You can always put tile down. You can always add wood flooring later if you wanted to give this a try. Now, the only thing about it is it's not perfect. It's not, something that was manufactured in the store and brought in and all the pieces match. It's going to have flaws. It's going to have little cracks. It's going to have, different,
yeah, stained concrete. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like you're accepting it for what it is. It's concrete and but I always like the look of our concrete. It looks great. And
so
they do a great job.
We include that in our pricing. We include the vinyl plank flooring in our pricing. If you wanted to do obviously the custom wood floors or even the tile, that's going to be a little additional.
This is another example of a vinyl plank flooring here. This is our
Files Valley.
Files Valley Barndo. It had more of those warmer tones and really had a great feel to it. But with the vinyl, it's 100% waterproof. So it's not like laminate flooring. But there's some instances where we use laminate, where client picks it, we will use it. Our preferred is like a vinyl plank, stained concrete. Obviously, if you're going to go high end, you can go with the engineered wood or a solid hardwood. So that's not what I was trying to show you. But flooring is always a big decision.
But one thing I also want to remind you is if you're getting your barndominium financed, there's going to be a budget established that the bank's willing to pay, that you've agreed to pay with the bank. And once that has been determined, for the most part, they're not going to take on any change orders. So if you know that you want these wood floors like the Lucas Barndominium here, you need to let let them know that that's what you're wanting to do so that it can get that in on the bid so that the bank will cover that. Otherwise, you're going to be having to pay out of pocket for any upgrades. So that's kind of why we're wanting to do this, kind of give you an idea of some things that are included, things that you need to account for, because not everybody has the.
We got a couple questions coming in on Instagram. I don't want to miss them while we're on the flooring.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Do you all do hand scraped wood flooring? This is hand scraped wood flooring right here, Liz, on the Lucas Barndominium. So this is it's a big ordeal to do hand scrape flooring, just mainly because of the thickness. It's built up. All the cabinets have been raised, all the door frames, all that raised.
A lot thicker than
It's a big ordeal to put this in, but it's a beautiful setup. And so I love doing the solid hardwood hand scrape floor like that. So
don't you have to put like a backer or something? Isn't there almost like a
it's
plywood or
it's
something?
plywood. So you put plywood down first, and then you put the flooring on top.
So you need to know that ahead of time for your door jams, like you said,
Right.
your cabinets,
Cabinet.
things like that. All that's going to make a difference. And do your baseboard, all that until you get those.
Right. So that's a big deal. Solid hardwood is the kind of, I think it's the ultimate when it comes to flooring. Personally, I love it. Now there's some great engineered wood flooring out there that really looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's see if I can pull one up for y'all while she's talking. Like our Hilltop Barndominium had a really nice engineered wood flooring.
That one had all the wood.
Yeah, we had a lot of wood accents on that build as well. We're kind of skipping around a little bit, but I want to pull some of this pictures. Oh, there it was.
There it is. This is the Hilltop Barndominium.
This is Hilltop Barndominium. This is where we're doing some different accents, and every wall was pretty much accented with
floor to ceiling
wood, a different shade of wood, and as you can see, even through the shop, we've got wood.
Vertical, horizontal. It's every direction and
Except
everywhere.
for the brick wall, we had a touch of that industrial feel on this build. The Hilltop Barndominium, one of the top videos that we've got on YouTube, and this is very, very. It's kind of hard to document how nice this build was when it was all said and done. We got wood accents on the ceiling as well that we hope to show you a little bit better picture of that. But this is the other side of it here. You can see the wood on the ceiling. We've got the quartz countertops. You've got these glulam beams that run across the kitchen, as well as I think those are spaced on 8 or 10 foot. I can't remember exactly what they were, maybe less. It's the picture that's kind of messing me up, but those glulam beams are probably on 4 to 6 foot, maybe. I can't remember. But we've got those coming across. Those were stained a different color. Then we have the tongue and groove on the ceiling. And I wish I had a better picture of the ceiling because it is an exposed ceiling joist is what you're looking at. So you don't have the interstitial space. So it gives you a raised ceiling height in an area like that when you can do an exposed glulam beam for joists. Now, when you have upstairs above, there is a challenge there because you need to, you want to have a fire break. But here, this was a kind of a storage area up above. But that's kind of what you get with. You can't really see the flooring here, so I'm regretful of that. But this was a beautiful engineered wood flooring. Matter of fact, we liked it so much when we were remodeling our house, we wanted to put the same flooring in, but she wouldn't let me, so I had to buy something a little cheaper.
I put him on a budget.
Um, so, yeah, so she cut me on that deal. But my flooring that we found was a really great engineered wood floored through Home Depot. So
And it can even be sanded. So that can you tell us a little bit
what
about
it
sanding? Like if you had to,
well, I wouldn't want to get into refinishing
Mm-hmm.
floors, but there are engineered wood floors that you could do. You can refinish, sand it and and do stuff like that.
Alrighty. So going now to
Where are you going? And I'll find
we're
you.
gonna go talk about stairs.
Stairs.
Yes.
Okay, I'll find you some stairs.
Okay.
Talk about them.
So I mean, we've got some that let's see here. The Buena Vista Barndominium had a staircase in it. It was actually tucked away. So it wasn't like an exposed open set of stairs. So there's multiple ways to do it, but so this is excuse me. This is our Buffalo Barndominium. This one had like they painted the faces of the stairs, and then they had the treads were a different color, so that kind of breaks it up and makes it look really nice.
The risers were painted white, and then we did the trim going up. Now, the thing you need to know about stairs is that if you're going to have stairs, you got to think about how you're going to finish them. Now, what's standard, usually what's included is to cover them in carpet. Now, you can use more of an industrial carpet, but nobody wants to use carpet all the time. So, or press media, that's the press lease. And they're asking if we ever finished our remodel of our home. Yes.
We did. We just got so busy. We haven't got to document it yet. But this is the shiplap wall in my dining room.
We actually had to move to the house to do our video because the internet at the other place wasn't good. And so I hope that it's better here. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm going to have to move.
We're just going to move somewhere else.
I'm moving somewhere else. So the thing to keep in mind with stairs is like, it's always great to have an upstairs, but this is what adds cost because you're trying to decide how you need to finish them.
Right.
You got to think, okay, is it going to be open railing? Is it going to be a pony wall going up where you have a rail on the inside, just a support rail, or is it going to be open stairs?
You're going to have the iron spindles or wood spindles.
And don't even get into talking about how much it would cost to do open stairs because, like, it's a big deal to do open stairs.
Like the floating, like
our
Maypearl
Barndominium had floating stairs. I don't know if I can find it.
One thing I never thought about with stairs, well, two things. Having kids, I've got a new appreciation for stairs, but your spindles can virtually be a ladder for kids. So you have to be careful if you have like a loft area. If they have like a real pretty design, those can actually give them those little feet, little steps to climb up. But this is the Maypearl Barndominium. Look at that set of stairs.
So this was a beast because we framed these. We had trim carpentry framers. I had all these guys involved working with my steel fabricator guys, and we framed all this up inside the living quarters. It did kind of whoop our tails, but these stairs were part of the structural framing as well. But you don't see it here in this picture, but I have a main steel frame that goes behind the wall there that we actually connected and tied into, which is what kind of enabled us to make this more floating because you don't see a post that's hanging there. Another thing we did is that runner that comes from the stairs out of the wall where the bedroom is, where the barn door, over the barn door, that is a piece of steel that runs all the way under the other floor and across to the other side of the room, which ties into another piece of steel over there. So that's what we did to cantilever, I guess would be the word, that little platform. So a lot of steel that isn't seen in this picture,
And that
but
doesn't have spindles. That has the, what do you call it?
and the reason why we did that, we did not want to put a post in the middle of that doorway that goes to the master bedroom. So
What do you have in between there? Those were like, not, oh, my mind went blank. What is it called, honey? In between, we had to do something special there. You can't see it
what you
unless you
talking
go
about,
look at the,
spindles?
yeah, there's not spindles. There's like
The rails or whatever, the vertical rails. We have here we're using the cables.
cable. That's what it was. So they had to, that was a special thing for us. It was something different for us to do, but it turned out really cool. Do
Yep.
we have another picture of the stairs? Is there one more for maybe help?
I'll have to search for them. So
No? Okay. Sorry. All right. Something else that we want to talk about is going to be doors. Doors are going to be a big upgrade potentially if you want to do them. But one thing to keep in mind whenever you're even doing your plan stage is if you're maybe wanting to do like ADA compliant, like the wider doors, for potential elderly or having to go through with walkers or wheelchairs, things like that. You may want to have larger doors, like wider doors. And then I also really love maybe doing like an 8-foot door. When those doors are really, really tall, it just really brings your eye up, especially in those large areas. They look really, really nice.
mhm. So let's start with this door.
Well, that one was a custom
This
little
is a
door.
pantry
Yeah,
door.
that's a pantry door on the Sadler Barndominium. Customer found this and we had to make it work. We had to install that there. They did a real neat little handle there. That's actually a cake serving
Yeah, a pie server.
pie server.
Yeah, that's a
It's
door handle.
it's see-through, so
This was all custom. I mean, that's really what you guys can really have fun with it.
those are some crystal handles as well on the cabinetry. Those are
Yeah,
special,
some of the hardware,
especially picked out there.
and a beautiful bouquet of flowers there, which is always from you.
That is, I'm telling you, that's where the
That's
money
what
is
you
right
want
there.
when you see those flowers. You know it's over.
It's done.
So that's what it's all about. Um, and here's another set of doors. Let's talk
So
about this one.
this is on the Heiko Barndo. Now these are not doors you're going to find in a store anywhere.
You can get them.
Well, their store. Our customers actually handmade these. These are amazing. You can't really see, but those are horses that are custom engraved in that door. This is really, really pretty.
Yeah. So these doors were custom built by our client in Heiko, which on the video we talked about it. Actually, there's a way if you wanted to buy some doors like this, I'm sure they could make it happen. But this is a beautiful custom done with most of it's done with like a CNC machine, but they had to have a tree that was that wide to be able to get a door that big. So
That's crazy.
it was a beautiful display that they did here. So obviously custom doors are a great addition to a build. So anytime you can have something special like that. Here's another example of just some double barn doors. This is our Hill County Barndominium where this was a neat kind of layout. This is the master bedroom, and you're seeing some wood accent that we have in the ceiling, which is always kind of cool to warm it up. And this was a tray ceiling that they had built we had built for them. Now the barn doors matched the same material that we used throughout on the house. So it was just we took the solid hardwood doors and we were able to put the hardware with it and customize it. So
And that's like a little sitting room or maybe a little office that's kind of attached to the master. So that kind of closes that off if you want to put your work away.
right.
That was cool. We also have those barn doors.
The
this
barn
is-
doors like we used the Sadler.
Yeah, this one is really cool. That's got a pattern to it. That is a black one. That's a black barn door with the it's kind of like the herringbone or the chevron pattern. So that was a special custom door that we had to order for that.
That's another example of a barn door on the other wall.
Barn doors are great if you have the wall for them. They're great because you don't have a door opening up into your space, so it's kind of a space saver. But it's you have to have the wall space for it too. So.
Also, the thing that they're doing here is they have some accent lighting on this, and I'll just go ahead and do it because it's hard for me to find these slides. But you got accent lighting above the cabinets, you got extra can lights, you got goosenecks over top of the doors for the barn doors. So that's a really pretty cool way to do it. And I think it just adds to the whole atmosphere that we were creating here on this build. So a lot of people really were digging this look.
All right. So next on our list is trim carpentry. For instance, we've got a lot of shiplap nowadays.
I was just talking about this.
Yep, the wood on the ceiling.
So trim carpentry to me kind of goes in the category of cabinets and stuff, but the trim carpentry is, as you can see, it warms up the room. So you're kind of taking that metal look, industrial look, and then you're adding the warmer tones. This is a big way to do that. The trim carpentry, you can see we've got the wood covered beams. I don't remember if these were both original beams or if we just covered one and one was an original beam. So that's always a thing. We're trying to balance that out. But this is the Hill County Barndominium. Had some beautiful. We should have showed this for the fireplaces too.
Mm-hmm.
It was all scattered out on this.
Well, there's so many things in each picture. It's like you want to show.
Yeah, you almost want to sit here and talk about each picture.
It's like you almost want to do a tour video of the whole house again.
Yeah, here's the Tundra Barndominium. This has some wood accent for wainscoting in the living room. This was something the customer wanted to do just to kind of warm up the area.
Which would be great if your couch is up against it or whatever. It's not going to mess up your wall.
Yeah. Also had a covered beam out of wood in there, as you can see. Got the stained concrete and a little darker tone on the color for the paint for the trim and all that. Also matching with the cedar accent for the mantle. So that's what we're doing there. Here's some more wood accents. We already showed you all this a minute ago, but we've got the siding on every wall almost of the Hilltop Barndominium, as well as all the ceiling accents that we're doing with the beams that we're using. These are real beams. These are glue-lam beams on the Hilltop. This probably should have been in the tile section, but we got tile that goes back around this shower. What are we talking about here? We moving on to another subject?
Sure. So this was probably for the lighting, but they picked a.
Are we talking lighting now?
Yes, that's the next one. Is lighting. So you can really jazz up your space. You can make it like a really fun space just by changing your lighting. Obviously, it creates a mood. It creates a setting. But this is, I believe, there's a story pretty much with everything in the Hill County Barndominium. So this was maybe a chandelier, I think, out of maybe a grandmother's house that they wanted to reuse. But it's over top of that copper tub, and it's actually a jetted tub. So that one was really neat. I don't remember exactly because it's been a minute, but that's a special tub too there. But that's a special light that they wanted to incorporate in their build.
Special.
It's special.
When you're building and it's special, that means like you're paying more money for stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
in my world, that's what it means. Here's another light.
So this is the Gambrel Barndominium. That's a really neat chandelier that's going to go over a dining room area. That's hanging there. So
Yeah, this was pretty cool. They had some pretty trendy, like contemporary, uh, I guess, choices, selections. But the flooring, this was a kind of an engineered hardwood floor. It was it was a lighter tone, which I really love this, but it has a little more of a sophisticated look to it. So I think that's the word.
that one's got the floating shelves there in the back instead of the uppers in the kitchen.
Hmm.
There's a lot in
Yeah,
this.
a little more of a contemporary design on this. This one here is our Cossi Barndominium, and it's got this was a custom light that now they had fun with it. They kind of did this.
Is that like a railroad tie?
No,
Something?
I think it was well, it was a custom. It was not a custom. It was a piece of
They made
reclaimed
it.
wood
Yeah.
is what they found this piece and then they kind of built this. They made this light fixture. So it's pretty cool.
That's a really big fan back there. That's nice too. As far as lighting, yeah, you can definitely add kind of your taste and your flair on the room. You can change it up, add some fun decorative things, and it just really adds some character to the space.
The fans are a big thing that you can do too. I'm not sure how far we're going to be able to get through all this, but
We're getting close.
here's some more lighting fixtures. Now, when I first looked at this picture, I thought it was the Callisburg Barndominium, just because of the I don't know the
The
ambiance
layout.
of it. But this is actually the Cossi build too. So this is looking at the other angle, and they had some custom lights that they used, which we had something similar to this on our Callisburg Barndominium, which you'll be seeing coming up on some of the upcoming videos.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like if you have a certain taste that you're looking for, there's all kinds of places that you can get like specialty lighting. I think that actually came, I think she got that off Etsy, maybe. I think somebody made that on Etsy. So there's all kinds of places you can look if you want to change it up and get something that you didn't see at Home Depot or your local places. Um, so and then these were special. This is this is Riesel. This is the Riesel Barndominium. Those are kind of a like a copper bell
I think
type.
it's Riesel.
Yeah. It's a copper bell type pendant. So something to keep in mind whenever you're doing these pendant lights is obviously knowing the size of them, knowing the size of your island to see like how many are you going to need over that space. Um, and then also how far are they going to have to hang? Because that's a lot of fun to try to get those all level.
I think we're going to go into the bathrooms now.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming that.
Yeah, the plumbing.
Yeah, we're talking about plumbing.
Next. So plumbing, definitely things that you have to kind of plan for ahead of time. This in this particular situation, like we're going to need to know that you're wanting to do body sprays, early on in the framing, right? When they're doing the plumbing rough, to get all the plumbing in the walls. So
Yeah,
this,
depending on what you're trying to do, it could, the volume of water can indicate that you need bigger drain size, bigger piping, all this kind of stuff. So the earlier you can advance, give that kind of notification, the better for the builder because they need to make sure that they got all that there. I've had instances like there's certain volume, like I did one time for a customer, not necessarily on on a new build. It was kind of like a remodeling days, but they wanted us to put in. I can't remember. It was like 6 body sprays, a rain head. We had all these diverter valves, and it was all
it was a
involved. It
car
was
wash.
all in like a 4x4 area, and I mean we did it, but when the plumber came in, he was just like, "Hey, you're gonna have to increase your drain size because there was gonna be a what do you call them, the the special drain that you put in the bottom. I can't remember the name of them now. The it's not
Like
round, but it's like a what is it called? Can't remember the name of it.
over either.
Anyways, we put one of those style drains where it goes from one side of the shower to the other. Well, to have that big of a drain, you had to increase your plumbing size. So it was crazy. But yeah, so keep in mind, like I said, I think that lady went and spent, like, I don't remember, I think it was $6,000 or $8,000 extra in just the fixtures.
Yeah. That they're a lot of money
So
for sure. This is actually our Sadler Barndominium again. That's got a rain head. There's a shower head. I think that's a wand that'll come down from there. And there's some body sprays. So you have to have, a separate handle for each one of those faucets.
I've been involved in a lot of that stuff, especially when we're doing bathroom remodels. We do the steam showers, uh, all kinds of different things, and of course, whatever you're going to do, it steps up the requirements. For what you need in your specifications. A shower drain long. That sounds about right. I mean, that's what it is, but I can't remember the name of the. Uh, I can't remember the name of it. Anyways,
Alrighty. So next, you may want a special bathtub. Like this is a clawfoot bathtub. Which build is this, Josh?
Campbell Barndominium.
Okay, Campbell Barndominium. This has got a really pretty faucet there on the back with the wand. So there's all kinds of things like that you can kind of change up. This has got the towel behind. You're going to want that in a wet space. So you're going to, hopefully maybe try to match what you've got in your shower or whatever. You're going to have to go back behind there with that. But that's a really pretty tub there.
That's it, Sheila. A linear drain. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. A linear drain. But yes, so another thing to keep in mind when you're doing the freestanding tub like this, or the clawfoot tub like this, is it takes special coordination. Again, we're using that word special. When we say special, that's cha-ching. That means money.
Yeah.
It's going to take money to coordinate this
Where the drain's going to
because
go.
of it's going to take extra trips involved for your plumber that he wouldn't normally do, because he's got to come back after that tile, so there's some things that are required when you are doing something like this. You think, oh well, that's cool, we can just set it in there like a piece of furniture. No, they got to have the tub there. You got to know exactly where that drain needs to sit. All that information has to be early. And then the same thing with your faucet, that has to be scheduled as well. So those are big things that need to be coordinated if you're going to do clawfoot tubs, or
because you can have a faucet, a tub filler that's coming out of the wall. That's going to have to be known, or if it's going to be a freestanding one like that one there.
those are big questions. And usually the superintendents are working with you to, coordinate all that stuff as early on as possible. But if you're just keep in the back of your mind, if you're ever going to do a clawfoot tub or a freestanding tub, these are things that you do want to know early. So, let's see if we can find you another one. Bathroom here. This is some special things.
Okay, so this is some specialty mirrors. So there's the one on the left is actually the Sadler Barndominium. It's a lit mirror, so you have to have, the electricity there. If you're going to have a lit mirror, you got to know ahead of time. Then the one on the top right is the Mansfield, and those aren't those medicine cabinets? Those had to be framed. You have to do the framing in the wall and set them in the wall. So that's not standard. You're going to have to make accommodations for that. So again, that's going to be an extra cost. What's the one down on the right?
I believe that's the Ennis Barndominium. I'm trying to confirm that in my mind, but I don't recall.
But you can do, our normal standard is going to be, we're going to have them frame out a mirror, and we're going to have our glass company come in, and they're going to put in a piece of mirror that, whatever the size it's been framed. So if you're going to do a lit or a medicine cabinet or a special shape or whatever, those are going to be some upgrades.
The lit mirrors can be a pain to install because some of them there's specifications. You got to have the plug in a certain spot. So, um, you know, it's just something you got to know ahead of time. Same thing. Now we've done those, like the one at the Mansfield. I think we were trying to put those in, and it was one of them was broke. So we had to reorder, and so there's things like that just by sitting in. Hey, Mike, you and Rose, appreciate you guys coming on.
Hey.
We're just showing a bunch of stuff, just a bunch of stuff. We were just talking about clawfoot tubs. I think you guys got one of those. um, so, that's something to keep in mind. I think we're going to talk
right.
about a variety of things here when you're talking about fixtures.
Oh, yeah. These are going to be
appliances.
appliances. So, one main thing that you really need to know before you get started is, are you going to do any gas appliances? Because all that has to be done ahead of time with your plumber. And those gas drops are not cheap. Let me see, I think Crystal told me you could pay anywhere, $750 per location. So if you've got a gas stove, if you're going to have a gas water heater, if you're going to have a gas furnace anywhere, or your fireplace, those are all things that you're going to have to know ahead of time, and it's going to cost you extra for a gas drop. But this has got a gas range there. That's
a special coffee maker right there is what that is. This is on the Hilltop Barndominium, and you got some kind of custom glass type backsplash going on. You got the pot filler, which is always a popular item.
But that's extra. You got to put plumbing in the wall for that.
You want to plan ahead for the pot fillers. The vent hoods you want to plan ahead for, because you got to have the tile that goes up above there,
and you got to know how tall it needs to be, because you may have to order extensions on the
Hilltop. Our clients were so into coffee, they literally threw out the pantry and put a coffee maker. So you got to make your concessions.
Hey, and I really love, I know it's a newer thing, but that's a microwave drawer underneath that coffee maker. I think it's a great space saver it's not, so then you can actually have a vent hood. It's not, hanging over your stove, but it's not taking up counter space. Like I feel like that's a great way to kind of tuck it in, is to put it in your cabinet.
Some people love that idea. Some people
put it in your butler pantry.
Yeah. Some people love the idea. Some people don't. But it's an option, for the drawer microwave.
But appliances are a huge expense. They can be. We've seen some pretty hefty price tags on some of the stoves, especially the gas ones. Those are going to cost you a little more. So figuring out what you're going to do for your appliances, like, we don't include appliances. There's such a vast variety of sizes and styles and all the different things. So there's just too many to pick from. But that's definitely something that you're going to want to figure out ahead of time. Decide if you want to get a Best Buy special, or if you're going to want to get it included into your loan. All that's going to make a difference. So
yeah, early on, you want to get your appliances figured out, and there's always like this timing involved with the builder when you can receive those things too. So it's the appliances coordinating and scheduling, all that is a big deal.
You need to know it for your cabinets, because if you're going to have any custom cabinets, you're going to have to build around that refrigerator. And if you've got an extra large one, you're going to need to know the size that's going to be.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about some custom, like built out storage, or, provisional upstairs areas, things like that, a lot of people, it's really popular. People want to do. And so again, it's something you want to know early on, because when you're doing your framing, you don't want to hear it later. Like, you got to, so we'll give you a couple examples of that. One is this is our Lucas Barndominium. You can see this is a unfinished, built out area.
Attic space, yeah.
Yeah. And it is attic, but it's meant to be something that they can come back and finish later. That's what this is designed for, because the floor joists, everything that we use is like we're building an upstairs. So the framing there, now there wasn't any upstairs framing that we built. We had some custom or some temporary railing that we put around there where the stairs and stuff come up. But this is something that is really popular. A lot of people want to make provision for having an upstairs later.
Well, a lot of times you may only be able to really, afford maybe just the lower level of your house to be complete, but maybe you wanna be able to have an option to expand later, like we had the Waxahachie Barndo had some unfinished attic space area that they could have finished out later.
And another
Um,
thing that I think goes along with our barndominiums is you can see the kind of space that we can create with our structure. We don't have these big, encumbersome trusses that are taking up all the room. That's the great thing about this type of construction. What we're doing to create these kind of spaces, because in your normal scenarios, if you were doing some kind of a wood frame build, you got to have trusses to support this type of deal, and the steel creates all of that cover. And that's a real advantage when you're building a barndominium. So you want to consider taking advantage of that.
yeah,
So
that's kind of actually what happened with the barndominium that we built. We had done the lower section and it was like, "Is this tall enough for a second story?" And you were like, "Yeah." It's like, "Let's do it." So we actually did a second story, just kind of,
built
um
an office area and stuff like
yeah.
that. And this is similar what you can do, um, on the whole upstairs. This was our Tower Ranch barndominium we had as an example. It has uh, the whole upstairs is literally open, and this is 1,200 square foot of additional storage.
Yeah, the Joshua barndominium has that as well.
Joshua has a lot of space up there. It was way more than 1,200.
Yeah, it was as big as the lower
I want to
almost.
say 1,800 square feet on the Joshua. The whole upstairs was open for them to come in and build it out later. The Athens barndominium had a whole upstairs, or well, not a whole, not the living quarters. I mean, not the living room area, but all of the rest of it was vaulted.
But the cool thing about this is like in this particular build, like all the mechanics are over all the way to the far right. So you could pretty much put a wall there and all that would be kind of tucked away and finish out the
Yeah,
inside of that.
if we didn't know it ahead of time, what happens is the mechanicals, the HVAC guy,
They can kind of be all over the
he's
place,
gonna
but
come in and run their stuff everywhere. So because it's all ceiling joists anyways, like they're just gonna run their stuff differently because maybe they don't have the joists are not the same below to be able to run their ducts under. So here, what happens is we're able to feed our ducts across those ceiling joists, the interstitial space, which is between the floors. So if you're so that to do that, you have to have at a minimum, probably 12-inch 2x12s. But a lot of times it's open web joists or the eye joists that we're using. So
well, and then the areas that have a lower ceiling height where you maybe couldn't put, it's not feasible for an actual room. Like you could use that even for storage. You could kind of build that separate to just utilize as storage and then finish out the inside. The wings of our barndominium is our storage.
yeah,
So
and the great thing about this, you can always go off to the side, keep adding on.
yeah,
I've done it
4 times, 3 times.
3 times. I've done it 3 times, and one of the times, or the fourth time, was during while I was adding on to the other. While I was adding on, I added on again. Before we could even get it done. But that's some of the flexibility you have with this type of construction. I mean, any kind of a construction really, but your traditional construction is a little harder to add on to because your roof lines and some of the stuff. But here, it's a little more predictable environment. So now this is a kind of a bonus uh, storage framed out area that's on the Files Valley. If you guys wanted to tune into that, This was something that our client, wanted some AC storage, AC storage, climate storage. What am I trying to say?
You're trying to say Christmas closet.
Oh no, that is not what I'm trying to say.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Oh, you want to hit this?
Yeah.
No, I got it
It
turned
doesn't
down.
Man.
There you go. There you go. This
Uh,
is Brandy's.
that house had all the Christmas closets. I loved it.
Oh my goodness. Well, the climate control. There you go. Thank you, Joy. Appreciate that. Climate controlled is what I was trying to say.
Duh.
So you could set up a desk, or this could be a great little prison area for your homeschool.
Yeah, you can just throw your kids in there.
You can make them get to work, So
Yeah.
you're not come out of this room, until you're done with your homework.
Yeah.
This is now this is our resold Barndominium. This was a built out area that wasn't originally planned. So
Kind of an extra.
it's kind of like
It was kind of the same thing. Like, how much space am I going to have up there?
yeah, we were going to have stairs going up, but not the finished area. So they made this like a little media room. And there's a window on this side of that picture. It's just, you're looking at the backside. So that's
where the lights come
that's
from.
a sealed door that goes to the attic where the HVAC area is. So this one, because the timing of when they came, we had to add some additional framing to our ceiling joist in order to support that. So now here we're talking about, I guess, the shops.
Yeah, the storage shop areas.
So we're looking at customizing the finish out in the shop.
Yeah, you can do just some plywood on the walls to where you can add shelving and things. But they went all out. We've got wood on all the walls and the ceilings. Beautiful. And they've got this space is conditioned, so they actually can utilize it for gatherings, any kind of big get-togethers or whatever.
This is the Hilltop Barndominium. It's a popular one because there's so many different finishes. We've showed it quite a bit, but this is basically the same type of shop we built for everybody. It's just here they lined it with the tongue and groove ceiling, which is like a 1x6 tongue and groove on this for the ceilings. There's a thicker like 2x6 that we used over the living quarters, but this is the deal that we're using for that.
All right.
So another thing is I think you're going to talk about air conditionings.
Yeah. So one thing that you're not necessarily thinking about per se whenever you're thinking about your selections and all those kind of things is going to be your AC units. There's all kinds of potential upgrades that you may want to do. Like a lot of times we do the mini splits. We can do those mini splits, in that shop area, like what we just saw.
Let me talk about the air conditioners.
Yeah,
I'm
that's going to be your deal.
I'll let you take a break for a minute. So the air conditioning side of it, we have like mini splits, and this is one of our Cooper and Hunter products that we use for the Hilltop Barndominium. We have a lot of mini splits that we use a lot. Now, for some of you guys that understand the style and the way that we build, the efficiencies for the air are a big part of how we're building. So we're building for air tightness, and on when you have all of this going into the standard finishes that we've got, it's good to encourage that. Hey, you might want to take advantage of some of those efficiencies and focus a little more on the HVAC side, because you can bring in fresh air, you can get dehumidifiers, You don't have to have all of that necessarily right away. It really depends on the situation. But HVAC is a big thing that I always encourage people to try to at least consider, like, to what level do you want to go? We are able to kind of downsize the demand that we need because of the air, because of the spray foam. So, the efficiencies on our builds allow for you to maybe you could step it up just a little bit if you wanted to. A lot of our builds, like our Lucas Barndominium, they've got a variable speed, full unit HVAC system. This that system automatically it ramps down. It starts at a low level. It helps keep the energy costs down. Is what I'm talking about. Because a variable speed barndominium is going to not a variable speed barndominium. A variable speed unit is going to allow you uh, to do that. So that's the big thing about your air conditioning. Now, here's another example, like on our Maypearl barndominium, where we run the spiral ducting. This is something that can cost you a little bit more money because you're trying to get from one side to the other. This was a challenge on this build because the main attic area was to the left there of that picture, and all of the supply from the air that needed to go over to the other room had to come across there without us building like a fur down going across there. We had to spiral duct it across there. Sometimes we get a little more creative. We're able to create a little bit of a fur down, or we're able to cut the peak off of the gable design, and we can, you know, still make passage. But what you need to know about this is that your spiral ducting is actually a little bit more money to be able to get across there. But a lot of people they like, oh, well, we want that, the decorative side.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a little more of a hassle for the install and costs a little bit more. So that's something to keep in mind. But like here, we had to use a different, smaller, like slim duct system in the master suite, and then all the rest of the house was ran on one uh, unit.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes you got to do stuff like that, but the advantage of doing the mini splits. Let's talk about the pros and cons real quick, and then we're going to move into some questions here. So that's what I wanted to do, I guess, as we get to the end of this. It's been a really long time. I appreciate you guys that
a lot of stuff
have been hanging with us. We were talking last week about the exterior stuff, and I'm like, well, what about the interior? You're not going to talk about any of the stuff there.
Too much.
It's too much stuff, and we're trying to cover it in these two parts, and we'll have to let you guys know what we're going to be talking about next week. But ultimately, HVAC is a big thing, I think, to think about with your build. A lot of maybe some people don't, they're just looking at, well, just what's going to keep me cool,
or what's it going to look like? Because those are like the bones. Like you're not really looking at that.
But the mini split whole deal, I want to talk a bit about that, the pros and cons. So the advantages are the efficiencies, the zoning capabilities. You can multi-zone each room if you do the mini splits. You can, so that means everybody can control their temperature in every room, just like you were at a hotel. So that's an advantage. It also is a variable speed, so like it has like 700 speeds, meaning that you're not going to have a big demand on your electric bill. So anything that's the higher SEER, like a 2-stage or going from an 18 SEER to a 20 SEER and up, these things are going to enable you to have less demand on your power. So the idea behind building for air tightness is we're building a more efficient model that for your air conditioner. So your air conditioner can not be overworked, number one. And the idea is you do want that unit to run. So with the type of builds that we build, we can actually downsize the size of the unit as far as the tonnage. So instead of, for example, for maybe a traditional type home, they figure like 500 square feet per ton. Well, for our builds, we're able to go more like 750 to 800 square feet per ton. So for that is absolutely the case. And that little trick right there is what enables us for people to have less energy bills. So that is what it's about. Obviously, keeping the heated or cooled air that you have as long as you can, but you also want that unit to cycle so that it can run, so that you don't have stale air. So there's a balancing act when it comes to HVAC, but that's what you're weighing all that out. I would recommend to anybody, if you're going to spend extra money, start with your air conditioner. I know that's not the most
Especially in Texas.
I know that's not the most popular thing, but and I don't mean like put as big a air conditioner as you can get. Like, no, that's not
It's
what
not
I mean.
necessary.
That's not what I'm talking about. Like, uh, the, you know, you just want to make good decisions about that. Like, and if you're building with us, it's definitely a conversation I like to have when if somebody wants to talk about that. So, also, when you're looking at upgrading water heaters and things like that, I either recommend just a standard electric, water heater, or a tankless that is like a propane. Um,
This one.
but yeah, tankless propane gas, but not an electric tankless. Like if you're looking to do that, I don't recommend that. Those are pretty cool though. We actually did one for our uh, one of our scurry builds that we did. They had an electric tankless, which, you know, we'd always said we weren't ever going to do one, but they wanted one and we put it in. So that's what happened. And it was kind of neat the way it worked though. I'd never seen an electric tankless, but it was really small and kind of in a little water closet that we had for our washer and dryer.
Definitely doesn't
So,
take up the kind of space that the others do.
um, so that's the thing about the mini splits. So we want to give a chance for those people that have stayed and endured all of this talking um, from us.
Okay. Do you want to look for all the different questions, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one from Peyton Mack. It says, "Have you ever done a transition from stained concrete to vinyl planks? If so, was that just a transition strip?
From
Stained concrete to vinyl plank."
stained concrete to vinyl plank. I mean, I would almost be certain that we've done that. And you just have to decide what you want to do. Sometimes you could use like a tile. You could use a tile piece to make sure it was going to be solid. You could do that, or you could use just a piece of metal transition for something like that. They got a lot of transition stuff, but a lot of times it's wood or whatever. And I wouldn't recommend just something adhesive. So, but you are probably going to need a transition. So yes, we've done it. I mean, I think we've had to terminate in more so where there's showers as opposed to just having uh, go from stained concrete to that.
All right.
Most of the time, they're not going from stained concrete to vinyl. It's either stained concrete to tile, from or from vinyl to tile where there's a bathroom.
Right.
So
This one of the other questions is, when we get all the time, where are you located and how far do you service to build? So we are located in Red Oak, Texas, which is 20 miles south of Dallas. And we have a 60-mile turnkey radius and up to a 100-mile shell option. So I'm not sure where you're located, but there's a little bit of wiggle room on that turnkey, but we try to keep it. We had it all the way to 100 and we've kind of brought it back in.
Yeah, the thing on the turnkey, I think it's really a special situation, but we have had some like if we're already building in an area, we've made exceptions where you know it's like we're already driving there and we know we're going to be there for a year. You know, it's like if you
What's
could
one
get
more?
if you could get it going. I mean, we're just laying down on the gurney. You know, like we're ready.
I'm not able to look up on my phone right now because I've got Instagram open, but uh, they ask if we build in Rusk. You just need to pull up Red Oak and see how far Red Oak is from there.
Yeah, here's another one. Brad Collins says they're in Bells, Texas, Highway 82 in Ector. Being that Brad, I don't know any of those areas. That's doesn't necessarily mean anything because Texas is so it gets so spread out there. But I haven't ever heard of it, so I'm assuming it's might not be in my reach. But
I don't recognize the.
we would have to search it up, as my kids say, always on the internet. Search it up, you know.
Hope you guys expand to Arizona.
Thank you, Houston. We're glad to do it.
We not your average Mo, I think is what that is. It says, "Do you guys build in San Antonio?" And unfortunately, at this time, we do not. It's going to be too far for us.
Here's a good question. Does Mr. Loser's plans include details for all necessary metal, members, connection, fasteners, etc.? It does not. So, um, Mr. Engineering, it does not. Crossville. So that is not his specialty at all. He's doing drafting for layouts, and a lot of that he comes back to us on, you know, gaining insight on what he needs to do. So in the avenues where we need additional engineering, we have a structural engineer that we can send things to, and we've had to do it on several occasions. So it is costly to go that route, but well, maybe that's you. Maybe you're the guy.
Revamp barber studio. Do you build under 300,000 dollars? I'm assuming. And yes, we do have
300,000
some
square
builds.
foot.
We do have quite a few builds that are under the 300,000 mark. So we have a Barndo cost calculator on our website where you can look at our link tree. Do you have that link?
I'll just type it in.
Okay. If you want to look there, you can kind of do some, quick quotes that you can kind of plug in some information and you'll get an instant automated response with a price. It's going to be pretty close. It's not going to be totally accurate because of all the things we talked about tonight. Those are all potential additional costs. So those that wouldn't necessarily be accommodated into that, it wouldn't be included into that preliminary quote. But once you get your plans in, we can get you an actual quote. But yes, absolutely, we are doing builds under $300,000. Joy, what's included in the shell option? We have on the shell option, you're going to have your underground plumbing, your foundation, your steel frame, your interior wood framing of all the rooms, bathrooms, all those kind of things are going to the interior wood framing is going to be done along with the zip system and all the flashing that we do, windows and doors, and the metal panels and metal roof. So you're going to have a fully enclosed building, but we're going to stop at all the mechanicals. So we're not going to be doing your rough in plumbing, your electrical, any of the HVAC. We won't be able to do the insulation because all of the mechanicals won't have been done at that point. So the shell option will get you all the way through into the wood framing on the interior.
Let me just say this about the shell option. Like there are some flexibilities there. We do have certain trades sometimes that will go a little bit further. And and would be probably happy to be a part of it. So, there's a little bit of flexibilities there when it comes to us. The big thing with doing those projects that are so far away. For us, is the demand that it creates on our administrative staff, and all of the logistics for, hauling materials and all the trucks and all the stuff that we are constantly inundated with. And so that's from us. We had made a decision based on that to kind of pull back. Let me say this though, ever since we, you know, said we were only going to do turnkeys that are 60 miles, we've never not had a build that was, you know, not that far. You know, am I saying that right? So we've always had a
maybe.
build going or
That's still a
two
little further.
that is 100 miles
Yeah, because
for
they were
for
either
turn
contracted
for
a long
turnkey.
time ago or whatever.
Yeah. So we have never got completely past doing 100-mile turnkeys. So it's still something we're juggling, and so we, I think some of that was during a different type of time frame. When the interest rates and stuff, some of that went up. It kind of helped us in some way, just because
Kind of
of
gave us a breather.
the demand gave us a little bit of a breather to
Yeah.
where we weren't stressing all of our people out.
Yeah.
So we're a little more
We were
open.
stretched pretty thin there
If
for a minute.
if you're just a longtime fan and you're adamant about us building, you could probably persuade us. You could persuade me, but not her. She's the one.
No.
She's the one that won't let us go. So
We're gonna
you
pay the
guys
fuel bills. So
tell them when you call the office, tell them to ask Brandy. So
I've got somebody asking about preferred lender that works well with us in the DFW area. We actually have quite a few, and that was actually on our last podcast or whatever this is called. We actually did a free PDF on our website, and it's got a lot of information on how to get started. You can just download that, and it'll kind of give you some steps of what we need you to have before we can start with you, and then it's actually got a list of lenders with phone numbers and contacts and all that information. If you want to download that from our website, it's free. It's just
it's not on the website. It's on our link tree. Oh,
too.
maybe she did add it as on the resource tabs
Yeah, I think
of the
it's on
website. So, but the quickest way to find it is to go to that link tree. That's the link tree is
It's a little
just
easier
it's
to-
easier for us to control what links you see. So we try to go on there and we put the resources that take you to our website directly to these things where the Barndominium calculator is. A lot of people are using that. We've had thousands of people go on there and get quotes, whereas our administrative staff would not be able to
produce that many.
to produce that.
Yeah.
And so it's eliminated some of that task on them when you've got a certain amount of people that are trying to find out how much it's going to cost. And, we're still working to, that way we can be busy doing building, and you can find out the information you need to find out. Now, sometimes you need help with that. So you can call the office and you can get that kind of information.
Yeah, Sydney can help you with the cost calculator. And we're trying to keep that as far as the pricing, all that stuff updated on there. So
you guys have any more questions?
Was there any that we missed? Do we have a
don't.
small barn dough? Yes. Anna, we do have a small barn dough. We have a couple of small barn doughs. The Grayford Barndominium is a small barn dough that if you want to look at it on YouTube, you can see that one. I think it was a 500 square foot on the lower level. And then we did like a bonus, one of those kind of things where, well, since we've got that space, let's finish it off and give us a little bit of extra room. So that one's small. The Hilltop is another small one, and then also the Tundra.
Hilltop was 900 something square feet on that was supposed to be a downsize move, and it still is. I mean, but that they wanted to take a little more advantage, and they added another 500-600 square feet on the top, so it was more like 1,500 of living, and it's nice, but for some people that would be too small still, and you can go on up. We have other ones like our 1,200 square foot Waxahachie. We've got
Tundra is 1,000 exactly.
The Tundra is 1,000 square feet. We've got what about the Malakoff? I mean, that was a smaller one bedroom downstairs. They had a loft up there. I can't remember. I want to say it was 12 to 1,500 square feet. But maybe a little more. It might have been more like 17. I can't remember. But they ended up adding a lot of extra storage on that build. That's one to check out if you're trying to find um,
Or is there any other
Peyton.
ones?
I know who you are.
That's a
Well,
doozy.
yeah, I tell you what, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying building a
It's
basement.
definitely neat.
So this has been a fun process. And I know there's a lot of strategy involved, when you're building a basement. But we are doing a basement on our black
In
gold
Texas.
Barndominium, a big time build that we're doing up there. And I'm telling you, it is going to be spectacular. So many people are asking me about this build. Like, we have got to do some updates over there. So I'm kind of working to try to get over there as soon as possible. But Brandon told me a certain time he wants me to come. So that's what's going on, Brandon.
He wants to have all this stuff together.
If you're on here, get me to the black gold
Was there any?
Barndominium, because what's cool and unique about it, guys, is we got bunkers downstairs in the basement, and then we've got like a parking garage over top, and then we've got our another living quarters up above. So many things that's going to be going on that deal. You got to follow for more on that. It's going to be really exciting.
I feel like Four Press Media has your spirit.
Yeah.
They're gonna lock themselves in that pantry and eat all the cookies.
Lock yourself in the pantry.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm in timeout.
That's Amy. That's Amy. That's well, we're going to be doing a shell only for them. So
okay.
Congratulations. That's going to be exciting. We got a lot of customers on here, which is family. You guys are like family. Everybody on here. Past customers, even when we're doing remodeling. Sheila, thank you for all your comments tonight. This has been fun.
Let us know too if there's like something that you want us to maybe address, or like a topic that you haven't seen covered before. We can kind of try to help you guys.
They probably don't want to hear us talk anymore.
Okay, I'm done. It's bedtime.
No, I'm saying like they don't need to hear anything else.
Well, it's probably not something I would talk about anyway.
So we're trying to do more to give you guys information, but it seems like, especially like on our YouTube channel, you guys like a lot of that when it comes to the performance. Really would like to show you more on that side. We've had some really cool things.
Not performing.
Yeah. Yeah. But on the performance side of our barndos, she keeps trying to hit the noisemaker here. You're not that funny.
I am funny.
So, but on the performance side, our Barndominiums are spectacular, and I'd love to tell you guys more about that. So we're hoping that we can share some of those things with you, where we've done some open blower door tests, and
we need to contact some people and find out what their utilities are running.
Well,
I think that's a big savings.
There's a lot of braggers out there. There's already people talking about it. They're happy. Everybody likes to talk about their air conditioning bills.
Mine stinks.
Yeah, not ours, because we're in a conventional frame, and we're not taking advantage of this Texas Best thing yet.
We're too busy building everybody else's.
We are too busy, and we had our contract. We had a contract to sell our house. Here's some back news for y'all. We had a contract to sell our house. I don't know, it was a year and a half ago now. And it was right when kind of the economy was, all of the house craze was tailing back off, and
gas prices.
We're just too busy,
Shut up.
anyways, we're too busy. And so once that contract fell through, I was like, okay, I'm done right now, and we'll wait for another opportunity. It was kind of like, well, if we sold it at that moment, okay, we'll sell it. We'll go build a new house. This will be fun. But now we're just, we had just remodeled our house. So all of that's done. We've enjoyed that. And now,
we'll do a video for that later.
Instead of me building a house last year, I had a little more time to go fishing. So
yeah,
because that was going to take
really where you'd rather be.
Yeah, I got to enjoy going fishing a little bit more on the weekends. But catching some crappie. But let's see. Do you have a preferred lender? We have. Did you tell them any lenders?
Well, I didn't call any out, but
Well, we have. If you go to that sheet that we made for you guys, I think we
I
have a
just don't.
list.
I don't know the numbers and all that kind of stuff. So you would
Yeah.
need to go there anyways, and you can get all that
We
information.
do work. We still work pretty heavily with Cowboy Bank. Is a local lender. We've got. Just tell them some names.
Texas Land and Ag, Rural First, Prosperity,
American National.
Yeah.
And a lot of these banks now are offering one-time close. Big deal, guys. That's a big deal.
I've got one more question coming in. Is pier and beam possible in a barn setting?
Pier and beam is it can be possible. It's kind of like what I'm doing on the basement, but it's a little bit different. You add your supports, but yeah, it's possible.
That's not something we do a whole lot.
We wouldn't do it. I wouldn't see why I would want to do it, but it is possible.
They're asking if we will be saving this live, and yes, it'll be saved on all the platforms.
This live will be saved. If we knew what we were doing, we'd get Drew to cut this up and take all the bad stuff out of it.
All the ums. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So that's it. These lives are going to be here. So if we will repost it on all the platforms, and they'll stay there unless it becomes where everybody's bailing out of the channel. Then we won't do that. But we hope that you guys are finding value with these lives, and we want to make ourselves accessible.
Yeah, because we are restricted to a distance. This way we can kind of be accessible, like you said.
And if you have questions,
people.
like I said, if we don't have TikTok on here tonight, but some of the questions fly so fast in there, and I'm not able to answer them all. So if you guys didn't get all your questions answered, then come back next Tuesday, or shoot it in a comment on the video. We'll try to answer it there. Sometimes we're trying to do Q&A stuff too, where you make a comment on a video, like an update video or tour video, and I'm going to try to reply to that with another video. So we're trying to do more of that. We're trying to keep the value there for you guys, giving you real content when it comes to building a barndominium. Hopefully this helps some folks. And like I said, it's really nice to see a lot of our clients out here and sharing these moments with us. I hope that this is good for you guys, to for the accessibility. So we appreciate you all. I think that's going to be it.
All right.
Is that it?
Yep, I think so.
Well, I'm Josh Helm.
And I'm Brandy Helm.
We're wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching.
Texas Best.